faces. My name is Lindsay. I am the campus recruiter for all of our California locations here at CBIZ. I'm joined by a couple of our professional staff here, so I will present my screen so we can get started. Okay. Let me know when you can see this.
Can see it.
We're good to go? All
Yep.
right. Okay. So today we're going to talk about professionalism. I think that it's tough sometimes when, especially in this virtual environment, we're going from being in classes, getting really immediate feedback, having constant communication with our peers or our teachers, and then getting into this kind of like corporate office setting when you're in an internship or an associate role. So we're going to just go over a little bit about, what it's going to be like, some tips on professionalism and how to kind of prepare yourself as you start to get into those roles. So I am going to hand it over to our professionals to introduce themselves. Oh, we're on mute.
Oh, thank you.
There we go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Thanh, and I am a tax associate at CBIZ. I used to be a Wednesday meeting director of Accounting Association, and I am a seasoned alumni. Nice to see all of you guys.
Sandeep, you want to introduce yourself? If you're speaking, you are on mute. I think we lost Sandeep. All right, we will come back to Sandeep. She is lovely. She's an audit associate out of our CBIZ Southern California offices here. So let us get right into it. I'm going to give a little bit of a background on CBIZ for those of you that haven't really heard of us yet. We are a professional services firm. We are the 10th largest accounting firm in the nation. We have about 6,000 employees and over 100 offices all over the country, which is great. As an intern or an associate coming in, you can travel, you get a really good range of locations and a really great range of clients and returns that you're working on. I think midsize is such a great place to be because we have these like national resources, the great CPA benefits, the great, salary and benefits and 401ks and all that good stuff. But we're also not super big. So you've got a lot more attention than you would at a larger firm. So I like to break up CBIZ into two main pieces. The first side on the left in the middle over here, you can see our financial and accounting side. So this is where audit, tax, forensic litigation, advisory, that's where a majority of our business lies. I think I'd say like 2/3 of the business. The other side that makes us a little more unique in the accounting world is our benefits and insurance side. So as a company, we are a quote unquote one-stop shop for companies to be successful, whether that be retirement, payroll, benefits. We consult on all of those things. So additionally, we were awarded over 90 workplace awards last year. Some of them were funny, like healthiest companies in Southern California, and some of them were really great about like mentorship and young professionals. And so we're really happy to be awarded a lot of those workplace awards last year. We also have a really strong commitment to community, which I personally really appreciate. We've been giving back to our community for the last 25 years. You can see here, we've donated about 10 million pounds of food in the last 10 years. We also partner with a really great organization that I always like to touch on, which is called Dress for Success. We provide interview clothing, professional development, entrepreneurship skills, and scholarship for women in underserved communities. And we recently donated about $100,000 to them over the fall. So outside of work, we like to do a little bit of good as well. All right. So why CBIZ? Like I mentioned previously, our CBIZ team does a lot more than like a typical accounting firm. Specifically in California, we have opportunities in tax, audit, advisory, and forensic litigation for students and early careers. I think some, like I touched on before, some really fantastic benefits to joining a mid-sized firm is that you've got those national resources with a smaller feel. We've also have a 6-to-1 staffing model. So here in California, you have a lot more attention and like training and exposure than you would elsewhere. We really promote hands-on learning and continuous feedback. At CBIZ, you'll also have a really great client variety, and I'll touch more on that in the next slide. But like it says, national resources with a local feel, and I think that's kind of the perfect way to explain it. So looking specifically more at Golden State, which is what we call our California region. We've got 9 offices here in California, up and down the coast, and a really large client variety. So when you're looking at audit or tax or advisory roles, a lot of entertainment, real estate, agriculture, as you kind of go up the coast, and like the Bakersfield area, you'll have a lot more manufacturing and agriculture. If you come down to San Diego, there's a lot more life sciences. So because our team is so large here in California, we share a lot of clients and work together a lot. And so as you'll see that client variety, you'll really get a taste of everything. Looking specifically more into forensic litigation, 3 main areas that we work in, 3 types of clients or cases are family law, fraud, and valuation. And for those of you who haven't heard of forensic accounting or forensic and litigation, that is accounting experts that go into court and act as financial witnesses for court cases. So kind of an interesting and like different and like sexy accounting. So highly encourage you to take a look at that. It's kind of an interesting career path I don't think a lot of accounting students look into while they're in school. And, you know, outside of just work, do a lot of community events and volunteering, like I mentioned previously, and a lot of social events. I know that our staff can probably touch on this a little bit more, but while I hate the term work hard, play hard, but it is true. Like we do like to work as a team, get a lot of stuff done, and you know, get through those busy seasons. But we also like to celebrate and have a little bit of fun while we're doing it, whether that be like happy hours or post busy season celebrations. We recently had some cool holiday events that were, you know, virtual, but still a good time. And like I mentioned, collaboration between offices, whether that be for networking events, for social events, or for work. I'm going to pass over to Thanh for talking a little bit about more the peer contact and career advisor program, if you want to touch on that.
Oh, hi, Lindsay. Are you want to pass to me, right?
Yeah, would you just talk a little bit about the peer contact program?
Sure. The peer contact program is you will assign a buddy on your first day, and the buddy will help you to adjust to the work in the office. You can ask the buddy everything, and I feel it's really helpful for me at the beginning. For example, I have an internship with CBIZ last year, and I reached out to my buddy, and he helped me a lot. Also, about the social event, I would like to share with you guys that I went to Catalina Island after the busy season. That will be the post-busy season celebration. So it's kind of like excited. And at the end of the year, we went to Disneyland to celebrate holidays.
I love that. That's very cool. All right. I'm going to move on to a little more about our recruitment process here. So you will see up top, we've got a couple events that we're hosting and partnering with CSUN for. We do have some coffee chats, which are like one-on-one 15-minute handshake calls with our staff to learn a little bit more about the roles, about the office culture, about you. And so we are hosting those this Friday and then in a couple weeks. So if you are interested in learning more, getting connected, staying connected with us, you can scan that QR code. It takes you to a form to fill out your information. And if you'd specifically like an invite to this Friday's coffee chats, you can put that in the notes. If not, I'll probably shoot you an invite to the next coffee chat on the 22nd. We're also attending the mid-tier recruiter panel next week. So I will be there chatting more about why I love mid-sized firms so much and why I love CBIZ so much. So feel free to join that as well. Now, like I mentioned, we have a lot of opportunities here. Internships are all, done for currently, but you might open up a few in the future. We are mainly recruiting for our associate level roles for 2022 and our internship positions for 2023. So I listed our LA openings just because that's kind of where you guys are closest to. We also have a ton of openings in San Diego, Oxnard, Encino, Irvine. So we're all across Southern California, and then a couple more up in Northern California, we have offices in San Luis Obispo, San Francisco, and Bakersfield. So wherever you want to be in California or beyond, you can check out CBIZ campus for all of our openings. Our deadline to apply for CBIZ positions is March 11th, and we are starting interviews as soon as next week. So feel free to apply whenever you get the chance, and it's kind of like rolling applications until March 11th. I'm gonna pop in the chat also. You know what, I'm gonna do this after, but I'm gonna pop in the chat our forms link. So if you can't get a hold of this QR code or you wanna, look at it a little bit later, I'll put it in the chat. Any questions so far about CBIZ, our recruitment process, before we get into this professionalism? Beautiful, you guys are so easy. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. You landed your internship, you landed your associate role. Maybe you're a little bit nervous about what to expect in your next role. So let's talk about what it means to be professional in an accounting firm.
So I will touch on the workplace realities. It's understandable that the transition to the workplace can be challenging. You're not expected to know everything on your first day. So you can expect some day-to-day like challenge, like stressful deadlines, like so that right now the busy season, not getting along with a co-worker or having a ton of group projects that can be frustrating. You may receive some constructive feedback that you don't think is fair, or maybe you don't agree with. Or you have to deliver some feedback to a supervisor or manager. So at the beginning of your career, this thing can be daunting, but we're going to give you some tips on how handling this thing with a little more grace and professionalism.
Thank you. Sandeep, I think we lost you for a second, but I think you're back now. You on? Beautiful. You're on mute.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, guys. I was having Wi-Fi problems, but I'm here. So just to, could I introduce myself?
Absolutely, please do.
Okay. I'm so sorry I missed out on that. So I'm a first-year associate in audit. This is my first busy season, and let me just tell you, it's way different than school. So yeah, you guys will get there though. Okay, so I'm gonna cover communication. So basically base your communication style off the person you're speaking with. So are you speaking with the peer? Are you speaking with the supervisor, someone in leadership? So you have to tailor your, your tone and your messages based off who you're sleeping with. I mean, oh my God, speaking with. And so basically, like, I know I kind of, in my experience, like, sometimes like when I'm speaking to like my peer contact versus like my manager or the shareholder, you have to tailor your language and your emails. So you can be a lot more casual with your team, your peers, even your managers, just depends on them really. But you may want to change your tone if you're communicating with the managing director. It's really important to understand the expectations about how quickly you respond. If one of your coworkers are messaging you versus you have a Teams message from your manager, and you're working on an assignment, you kind of want to get to your manager first before your coworkers. So asking questions is encouraged. It's so much better to understand initially than complete tasks and assignments incorrectly. And on that same note, if you know that you can't complete something or you're confused and you just know you're not really understanding it, it's really, really important to communicate that. That's something that I went through as well. There were times where I kind of got shy and I waited until like I was halfway in, and it's just better to be honest and upfront and be like, hey, I don't understand how to do this. Can you lead me through this? And it's better for everyone involved. So yeah.
The next point is about relationships. So why relationship is important at the workplace? Because you have to work with everyone, especially in the office. And building relationships at work can be challenging, right? Sometimes you don't want to be friends with the people you work with. That's okay. But however, you do have to be kind and respectful. So many firms have the program that connect you with a mentor or peer buddy, and CBIZ does this really well. And we connect you with a buddy on the first day. If your firm doesn't do this, don't be nervous to reach out to a coworker you admire or someone in a higher role. Most really happy to have you. And I want to share a little bit about my experience when I first started. Like I have an internship at CBIZ, and I reached out to all the people in the office and senior office to build a relationship, because that would be have me during the first busy season. I will feel like more comfortable to work with the people that I know and get along. Group project. Yeah, you have to work in a group project like from school to work, right? It's challenging because everyone have a different style of learning and communication. So you have to work with all of them with respectful and kind.
Okay, so taking and giving feedback. Your feedback at a firm will be different than in a classroom. So in classes, you know, you take a test, you get your exam back, and it tells you got an A, B, C, D, F, right? But in a firm, you may not have that kind of response after an assignment. You know, managers don't really have that much time to always get back to you. So it's important that you know, message them, email them, be like, hey, I completed this assignment. How do you think I did? Was there anything you wanted me to change or work on, or, you know, review prior to completing this assignment? So yeah, don't be afraid to ask them. That's what they're there for. They're there to give you feedback and, you know, route you to the right way. So when you do receive the communication, use it as a learning opportunity. I know it's not always fun to get feedback. That was something I had to work on. I got feedback on something I did for the first time, and you know, we're so hard on ourselves sometimes that I was sad all day about it, that it wasn't as great as I thought it should have been. But it's okay. Don't worry. That's going to happen a lot throughout your career. So just use that in a positive way. Use that to become better. Use that to you actually take their input and you know, make those improvements. So a good tip is to actively listen, then summarize the feedback to the other person so you're both clear on the action items. Last thing on that point is make sure to follow up, as I've mentioned. So giving feedback to your team or those in a higher position can definitely feel intimidating, challenging, and just scary, you know? So here's some ideas to think about when giving feedback. So think about your tone. Be solutions oriented, give positive and negative feedback, and talk in person or video.
Going to the next part, which is the time management. Here in accounting, we big in auditing. Make sure that you doing a time audit. So it's just like when you come to work on one day, you have to do audit your time from the beginning to the end. You have to build a billable hour for client, and you have to do the non-billable hour for other activities like the training, development. And it's easy to get distracted, especially when you're working from home. We usually multitasking, right? So here is some tips for you for time management. Try to avoid multitasking. Try to focus, do one thing at a time. You can do that, like block your time on the calendar to focus on the project or task. Then you can write ahead, like schedule in a notebook or in a planner about what does that look like in a day, and you will like project for a week, just of like what you did on your school schedule. When you like have to go planning ahead what class you going to register for next semester, you will project your time. Okay, what time I need to study, what time I have to maybe like working, because I know that like season student always hardworking people. I admire that. So also be upfront about your availability when you work. It's better to ask for more time or delegate than have a task done faulty or late. Your team will be more grateful knowing initially that you don't have capacity to scrambling to get things done last minute.
Totally agree. And another note on that, I had such a huge learning curve coming into a full-time role after college, because when you're in school, it's like everything is scheduled out for you, right? Like you go from your classes to your clubs, to your sports, to whatever events you have, like you're pretty booked up. You don't need to like write everything down. You don't need to keep track of all the things going on. When you get into this role, there's so much quote unquote free time that you have to schedule, right? And so totally love that point about, you know, schedule yourself out, schedule focus time, schedule time to work on these projects, because you're going to start to get overwhelmed as you're getting into these roles and you're, you know, assigned a lot of tasks and projects.
Okay, so let's talk about career growth. Keeping a running list of accomplishments is great, not just for you, but for your supervisor as well. So we do so much on the day-to-day that at the end of the quarter or year, we may forget, you know, the accomplishments we've had. I'm sure you guys run through this problem with your resumes, like where you've had a job or an internship, or you were part of a club, and you have to list out the bullets of what you accomplished, and you're like, oh, I know I did a lot, but I don't remember exactly what I did. So this is just like another way of keeping in track of what you've done and all your accomplishments. So a lot of the times the soft skills are the things that we need to work on as individuals. Maybe you need to brush up on your public speaking or communication. So LinkedIn Learning is a great free resource to develop those skills and add those skills to your profile to stay competitive. So you may not exactly know where you want to be in 5 years, and that's totally okay. You know, even I just started off in as an audit associate, and I still don't know where I want to be. So that's totally fine. But you might have an idea of the role you want to move into, or skill, certification that you're interested in. So with all the great things, practice is key. Practicing professionalism, both working from home and in the office, will take time, and that's okay.
Very well put. All right, just to round us off, I'm going to give us, you know, a little wrap up here. Like our two lovely professionals said, you're not expected to know everything at once, but we wanted to share some tips on, you know, how to communicate and how to build these relationships, because it all ties into professionalism, but it is also just like great skills to have as you're coming into the workforce. As you know, we're in a virtual environment where there's so much over Zoom, there's so much texting and talking and emailing, that once you get in that in-person structure, it could be a little bit of a learning curve, and that's totally okay. This transition is a really big life step, and so give yourself some grace, be patient. CSUN and the Accounting Association and your teachers and groups are preparing you so well. We've never had any issues with CSUN students. I think you guys are so well prepped between all of your clubs and groups and activities, but hopefully this was a little bit more information on how to transition and be a little more professional as you get into this next stage of your life. And I want to open it up to any questions that you have for either Sandeep or Thanh or me, or recruitment process or CBIZ. Anyone have anything? These are so easy. I guess we just covered everything. Okay, well then I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I do want to pop in the chat really quickly though, our Airtable form again. So let me, oh, that's my video. I can do this. Technology is easy, you guys. We can do this here. Okay, there's the form. Sandeep popped her email in. I'm also gonna put mine in here. So if you guys have any questions, you're absolutely welcome to reach out to any of us. And thank you so much for your time. Isaac, anything else?
Does anyone have any final questions? As many questions they want to bring out?
Yeah, I have a question. I was wondering, coming into an internship, what would you say is the best way that you can conduct yourself as like a completely new person with no experience in the field?
That is a great question. I will say take a ton of notes and ask a ton of questions. As an intern, you're not expected to know anything. You know, we know that you're coming in from audit and tax classes, from accounting courses, and you don't have that real life experience. So just be open and just take a lot of notes, ask a lot of questions. And I hate these cliches, but like act as a sponge, because you're getting all this information in such a short period of time. And then you've got to, you know, learn from it and start acting and doing all of the tasks at once. And I'm sure that our associates can agree it's a little overwhelming, probably.
Yes, I agree, because I have 2 internships with CBIZ. I love CBIZ that much that I come back after my spring internship last year, and then I come back in the fall 2021, and now I'm become a full-time associate. So it's was kind of overwhelmed at the beginning, but I try to like wrap myself first, like before I start my internship. I need to get to know the people in the office. Especially with the virtual environment, it's hard for you to stay in front of the laptop and do all the work, and then you have a ton of questions. You don't know who should I ask beside your body, because like your body can't help you that much. There's something that you need to reach out to many manager or directors or senior manager. So just be proactive and patient. Yeah, just ask a ton of questions.
That's such a good point, is meet everybody you can. You don't know who can help you and further your career. You don't know who those like kind of change makers and decision makers are. So I will say, like, meet and be kind of respectful to everybody you talk to. The main point of an internship is for you to learn and you to see if this could be a fit for you. And most likely at the end of your internship, there will be an evaluation period where, you know, you're looking to get a conversion offer to full time. So that was a great tip too. Thanks. Great question. Gemma?
Yes, I had a quick question. I know you were brushing up against, you know, the revision and just at the end, but what if you want like a feedback in the middle of, like, let's say the internship or like the middle of the week? Like, how would you ask that? Like, because I feel like that's such a, not a sensitive topic, but a random question to ask. So I never could timing.
Yeah, timing is everything. You're totally right. I would say, depending on your work culture, if it's kind of an open environment, I would shoot a Teams or a Slack message or whatever you're using, or put 15 minutes on your supervisor's calendar and just say, like, I would love some feedback on this project. Grab 15 minutes in their calendar, just so you have that like undivided attention. It's a good question.
Thank you.
Can I jam in too? So during my internship, I have an opportunity to work directly with the partner. So I'm so freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I have to prepare a tax return and wrote to the partner. So at that point, I have to ask help from my senior manager. And when I done with the job, I didn't hear any feedback from the partner. So what I did is I sent him an email asking about it. And luckily that he replied to my email. So he let me know like which point that I should improve and what does it look like on the tax return, so you can learn from it.
I'm sure that was a little bit nerve-wracking, but I think like on the other side, right, on the side of the director, it's so nice to be able to give that feedback, because it shows that the intern or the associate or whomever is interested in growing and learning and doing better. So definitely.
Honestly, all my managers that I've worked with so far, my engagements have been super cool, super fun. It's just like, they're just like kind of like your coworkers. Like, it's like that kind of, obviously they're not though, but just shoot them a Teams message. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Are you free tomorrow or today for like a quick chat for 10 minutes? I wanted to know how I was doing on this work paper, this assignment. And yeah, they're really, really nice here, like at CBIZ. Everyone that I've came across, all the managers, they're super cool, super nice. So it's not scary, don't worry.
I think we're a little more casual than most other like firms. What's up, Omar?
Yeah, I just had a more open question, and I wanted to ask, what did you find personally to be the most challenging thing when you first started your full-time position, and how did you overcome that challenge?
I'll let our staff answer that one.
So for me personally, the biggest challenge I had, or I had two challenges. One was taking, like I was talking about, taking feedback and being hard on myself. Instead, I learned how to channel it in a positive way. Like, oh, okay, I did this part correctly. I didn't do this correctly this time, but next time I will. And then the number two thing was being organized. You guys, it is really, really, really important to be organized. I thought I was organized in college. I had like one planner and I fit everything in there. But now I have like three things. I have one binder for like my work notes. I have one for like my to-do. And then my other one was like, I have one for tracking time. Once you guys get into like the full-time position, like Thanh was mentioning how important it is to manage your time. So I kind of fell behind in terms of like, how am I supposed to know how long it took me to do this assignment? And I would like miss it throughout the day. So I organized like my time. Oh, it took me an hour to work on this assignment. It took me 3 hours to work on this assignment. So I have a binder where I literally note it down. So just learn how to be organized. That'll take you really, really far.
So my challenge when I transferred like to become a full-time is a learning curve at the beginning with the training, the NTL, the national training. There's a lot of information thrown at you, and is it okay if you don't like absorb everything? Because you will get that when you hands-on working. So just take notes for everything. That could be the best. And also I'm agree with Sandeep that about time management, because during this busy tax season, there will be a time that 40, 50 jobs can stand on your desk. So you have to schedule like FIFO, first in, first out. Which job you receive first, you need to finish that first and wrap it up.
I love that you touched on that national level training too. That's something that we love here at CBIZ is local and national level training. So as you come in as an associate, whether that be tax or audit, you'll have a national level training with all of the incoming associates starting with you at the same time. Usually there's travel involved. You all meet in a single location, and like, it's a ton of information, but it's all really great. And it's great for networking as well. So that's the national level training that Thanh had mentioned. Great question, Omar.
Yeah, thanks for the advice. I'll make sure to keep that in mind in the future.
Any other questions? Sophania, I think I saw your hand raised. You don't have the question anymore. That's totally okay.
Yes, thank you for presenting. My question was similar to Omar about.
Gotcha. All right, Isaac.
We don't have any other questions, and we'll head off to the final announcements again.
All right, just a quick reminder, the mentorship mixer is February 11th. We hope to see you there. And again, you'll be able to meet with your student and professional mentors and just get to know each other. And if there are any more questions, feel free to reach out to us or attend one of our table meetings that we host. I'll now pass it off to Isaac, who will take a picture of everyone before we go.
Yeah, so if everyone can turn on their cameras, please do so. We're about to take a picture. Great. All right, I'll be doing a countdown. So, all right. So 3, 2, 1. All right, I'll do it again. 3, 2, 1. Great. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us today, our meeting with CBIZ, and thank you again, Lindsay, Thanh, and Sandeep for coming in and presenting today.
Oh, hold on. Can I have a quick note?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just want to let you guys know, feel free to reach out to me or connect me on LinkedIn because I'm used to be a seasoned alumni and I have an internship with CBIZ. So if you have any question about like the internship with CBIZ during the tax busy season, just reach out to me and we can set up a coffee chat. And I'll do my best to have all of you guys. Love to be back with Accounting Association, and hi to Henry.
Hello, it's been a minute.
All right, that concludes our meeting. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank
I
you.
thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.